my questions as well as this. Whenever a speaker or anyone would request everyone else to please mute their microphone. And with respect to your video as well, apart from the speakers, we request to keep the videos so that we don't have any disturbances in between. And if there are any bandwidth issues, even those could be resolved.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Udyog Manthan webinar series. Today's webinar and today's session is going to be on sporting goods. And to give the opening statements and set the context for the session, we'd like to invite Director DPIIT, Mr. Uday Singh Meena.
Thank you, Ridhima. A very, very good evening and warm welcome to all of you, all the sporting personalities, I may say, and wish you a very happy and healthy new year. Sports is a subject to keep up our health. So, it is the right time to discuss at the start of the year. But let me first thank the Udyog Manthan team, which is steered and led by Dr. Vandana Kumar, Joint Secretary, DPIIT, for including me and giving me opportunity to speak on the subject which I like the most, the sporting goods industry. I have been, as everybody is playing sports, I have also played lots of sport, but to go back in the history, it's a century old industry, flourished, and it's driven by highly skilled workforce. This is apart from playing sports, I have gained about the industry, which is a very traditional skill base, a highly labor intensive, a specific skills and manual techniques are required for this. It also involves the home-based manufacturers, which are involved in the chain. The cottage industries are there, so that compromises the sporting goods industry. It is a employment-oriented industry. Almost more than 5 lakh people are employed under this sporting goods industry. If we talk about India sporting goods, they are popular around the world as the leading sports manufacturers are here. The leading sports businessmen are here. They can second me on this. And we have definitely made a mark in the global market, sports goods market. As per the statistics, there are about 318 items we are manufacturing, but mostly they are inflatable balls and on the wooden-based equipment, hockey stick, cricket bats, rackets, even shuttlecocks also. And traditionally, our sporting goods manufacturing centers get concentrated in the areas of Jalandhar, Meerut, Mumbai, Delhi, Agra, Moradabad, Chennai, etc. It's a reiteration. You people all are aware, but let me set the stage. So the scope is wide and vast according to the vastness of the country. And in the recent year, India has emerged as the leading international sourcing destination for inflatable balls, sports goods. Many international chains like Mitre, Lotto brands, they are taking products from us. We have exported for global events, Olympics, etc. And we are exporting the major exports we are doing to EU countries, USA, Australia, and UK is the biggest export market. And on the import front, as you are all aware, the challenge we are facing, the import is originating from one country which accounts for almost 60%. If I say do a SWOT analysis of the sporting goods industry, let me, even in the analysis, I will talk about the strengths. We as a country, as India, we don't have any dearth of highly qualified engineers, mechanical, electronics, IT, which are required for development of the industry. And if we talk about the marketing strategy, we have the well-educated and trained marketers with us, and they know the product well. They have identified the market well, which can be marketed to the largest number of the consumer. But still, let me count it as a weakness of the sporting industry. It is an underdeveloped area still of the economy. It can be rewarding industry. That is a hope that it can be rewarding industry if we put in the right resources, manpower, and obviously in tandem with the government support. And this is such an industry, it will not only help the manufacturers and other stakeholders, it will also build up your own health. Not only it will improve the economy of the country, it will improve the healthy economy, both in terms of financial as well as physical health. And I will again reiterate that our resources are underutilized in the industries, and we can make it a big manufacturing hub. And this is a belief which is possible. Our honorable PM has given the logo, the vision that Fit India, Khelo India. He has given the direction to the industry. Open with full arms to brace the suggestions, and especially in the post-COVID scenario, the challenges have come up for this industry also. But still, a paradigm shift is the need of the hour, and we have to turn out into this scenario into an opportunity. And today's Manthan is perhaps the right thing to move ahead. This Manthan will churn out nectar of new ideas. The government is willing, and government will work together to achieve the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat and to be vocal for local in promoting our own sporting brands at international level too. I am seeing there are speakers in a way which are waiting, right from the sports academy, the manufacturers, the leading industries. So I now request Ms. Madhumita Gua, Director Marketing and Food Testing, Intertech, to take the session further as a moderator. Thank you very much. Madhumita, you are not audible. You are on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Udyog Singh, for setting the context. And yes, it's a very, very sporting time now. And, sports always uplifts not only our health, but also our mind and spirit, right? So I can see all happy faces today. And we really liked the way you have, set the context for this very interesting session Thank you very much, Mr. Singh, and for your immense and valuable start to this event. So we have a galaxy of stalwarts today, and very interesting sporty thoughts. And this is going to be a very interactive session. So please, even our audience, there is a chat box here. Please feel free to write. We will be looking at it. Don't make it, it's a sporting event, right? We're speaking about sporting goods. So we need to be really athletic, dynamic, and let's get going, right? So I will like to, first of all, introduce myself. I am the vice chair of the TIC Council. TIC is Testing Inspection Certification Council, the India chapter, and also director for Intertech. And I have as speakers and another housekeeping. Please, can you put on mute if you're not speaking? That creates a lot of static. So I request you all to please put on mute if you're not speaking. So we have a galaxy of stalwarts, as I said. We have Mr. T.N. Anand. If you have your video on, if you could just wave out, that would be very good. Mr. T.N. Anand, if you're on this, please wave out. From Sandspierville, Greenland. Then we have from Sports Academy of India, Mr. Dr. Devendra Arora ji. Mr. Devendra Arora, please, if you're on can you put your video on so that our audience can, relate to you? Next, we have Mr. Gaurav Jain from KR Industries. Yeah, Gaurav, Mr. Gaurav. Then we have Mr. Rajesh Kharbanda from Freewill Sports. Yes. And we have Mr. Rakesh Kohli from Stag International.
Hello.
Great. Yes. And we have Mr. Jayesh Rambia from Tremsons Plastics. Where's Mr. Ramesh? I thought he was here. Okay. And then we have Mr. Aman Chanda from Responsive Industries. Great, yeah, Mr. Rambia is here. So good. So there we go, and as our Mr. Uday Singh Meena rightly pointed out, right, that it's all about quality that inspires productivity. So we must remember that the two pillars of this, the nectar that we are going to churn out of this Udyog Manthan, we must focus on these two pillars in the sporting goods industry. I must say that, all of you, we are ready to go. We are on the racetrack, right? Broom, broom, we go. So we start with Mr. Kohli. Mr. Kohli, over to you for your, thoughts on this sector, on quality and productivity, what it means. Like we know Udyog Manthan, our quality inspired productivity. So over to you, Mr. Kohli.
Yeah, a very sporty good evening, dear friends. And it's really a matter of pleasure for me to be here and a very good initiative by the Government of India through QCI to have this Udyog Manthan and talk about quality. And as Madam Madhumita rightly said, that quality inspires productivity. So let us first talk about quality and what do we see quality as? What is quality basically? Quality, I would say, is a perception of a product being good or not so good. Now, if maybe I bought a product for 1,000 rupees and I'm not too happy with it, I would say that it's not good quality. Maybe I bought a 5 rupee pen and it performs very well. I say it's very good quality. So basically, the perception of quality is whether the price which we have paid for, whether the product exceeds that price or not. If the product exceeds that price, our perception about the price of that product, then that is quality, that is good quality. And if it does not, then it is, I would say, a poor quality product. Now, how do we get this quality? The quality starts, the first thing I would say, with packaging. I mean, somebody many years back told me, and I think it's a well-known fact, that eyes eat. When we eat, before that, we see the food. And if we like the food, then we go to the next step of eating. So if the packaging of the product is good enough, then I think that product has a good head start. So the first aspect of quality would be packaging. The second aspect would be the actual product content. And here I would say the performance. Like if I'm using a pen and if it's performing well, then I would say it is good quality. But if it is not performing, then it's poor quality. Now the product content, and Gaurav would take it forward as far as the various inputs are concerned, whether it is by way of the inputs being carb compliant or REACH compliant or compliant as far as phthalate free or lead free as required in international standards. So the product has to be, if we talk about international quality, then it has to be compliant with all the international standards. When we talk about international standards, we have from India many products which are today under the international standards.
Kindly mute if you're not speaking. Mr.
Am I audible?
Mr. Trilok, can you please put yourself on mute?
Look, I'm having difficulty in getting the video. I'm just organizing it, Manthan.
Yeah, good evening, sir. So I will continue then. I mean, when we talk about international standards, I would say, although a lot of our products, they are as per the international standards, but if you see overall the picture, not many products from India, I would say, would qualify to be at the same levels at some of the other countries with which we are competing. Having said that, we have, I think, the best cricket equipment, and Mr. T.N. Anand is one of the best manufacturers for cricket equipment. We have some very good soccer balls from India, and Mr. Rajesh Kharbanda from Nivea is there. We do some good athletic equipment from India. There are various brands from for athletics which are doing very well. Table tennis is another area where we are doing well. So I would say that although there are quite a few companies who are doing well on the international standard, but still that is where we are lacking. And that is where we would like that the products from India, they should be highlighted. I mean, I would say to promote brand India through Indian brands. That is one of the major things which we look at when we talk about quality. If there are some products which come up to the international standards, then the government of India should help to promote these brands to the international levels. So, I mean, so that we can promote brand India. And if there are various Indian brands who are there on the global market, then I think the perception about the Indian manufacturing, that will go high. And that is where we will improve the productivity. That is where we will see to it that people, they come to India and buy the products from India. The next point I would like to say is that Indian industry can only grow if the government supports the manufacturers by way of the manufacturing capacities we have. And that is where we come to the productivity. And productivity, I would say, I would consider men, machine, and material. When we talk about men, then there's a lot of development. There is a lot of work going through on skill development. I mean, we have to develop the skills. We have to have internal training. We have to have training for our people day in and day out so that they become better skilled to produce the quality which is required. Then when we come to material, we have to, right now we are in the process of producing some products for USA. And there are so many compliances which we need to do, whether it is by way of factory audit, whether it is by way of the products, actual raw materials which we are using, whether it is by way of product testing, whether it is by way of the actual playability of the product. So all these things, they become very, very important. And these things can only be achieved if the right material is available. Now, this right material can be available when we have the proper testing facilities. And I think Mr. Jayesh will come to that later, that the testing facilities within the country, they need to be improved. And that is where we are lacking far behind. And when we do have these testing facilities, they are so expensive that they become almost impossible for any of the manufacturers to use these testing facilities. So I would say that the right material, whereby we can say, yes, our products are as per the international standards because the material which we have used is the right material. Then it has to be properly tested. And then we can say confidently, yes, what we have used is right. And that is why we're producing this quality. The third important aspect on material, the third important aspect is machine. Now we have to continue to improve the machinery which we are using. Right now, sporting industry is labor intensive, but we need to move from labor intensive to semi-automation. We need to use this labor, we need to use our workforce, but at the same time, we need to have some machinery whereby we can improve the quality of these products, whereby we can improve the acceptability of Indian products in the international market. And when we use machinery, it does not necessarily mean that the workforce will be reduced. The labor intensive thing will be reduced. No. I mean, when we use the machinery, our demand for our products will go up and we will employ more and more people in the industry. Now, when we talk about material, there are certain things where we are looking at the government which can help the industry if the government really is serious about these things. Material would involve price, it would involve money, and money gets stuck with the government departments, whether it is by way of GST, whether it is by way of duty drawback, whether it is by way of licenses, which, I mean, if you see right now, our licenses are stuck for the last 1 year. GST has not been paid for the last 2 months. An organization which has 20% of its total volumes by way of these taxes, whether it is GST or whether it is duties which we pay or whether it is by way of the ROT which is coming up. Now, this 20%, this gets stuck with the government. And when we don't get this money, it's very difficult for us to get the material on time or to pay our suppliers or our workforce on time. So basically what happens that indirectly the government is playing with our goodwill. That should not happen. I mean, as the government decides that on the first of every day, we have to pay our work people, all the government officials on the first of every month. Similarly, the government should decide that on the first of every month, whatever is due to each and every manufacturer, to each and every exporter, that must be paid, irrespective of whatever happens, whether the government is short of funds or not. I mean, we have not heard at any time whereby we say that the salaries of the government employees have not been paid because the government does not have funds. But on a regular basis, we see news in the papers whereby we say that funds of exporters have been stuck because the government does not have funds. That is not fair. So once we can sort out this, then we can come to this situation whereby we can say that, okay, more and more people should come and invest into the country. They will come and invest if they have the right kind of incentives. Like we were discussing this morning, that if we have some sort of initiative from the government whereby at least the investments are not taxed. I mean, whatever reinvestments are being made by the people who are earning the money and they reinvest into the market, into the business, then at least that reinvestments are not taxed. And if the reinvestments are not taxed, then these reinvestments, they will bring more and more business in the future. And once, and then the government gets more tax. Then we talk about infrastructure. Now, if we talk about Meerut, we are running the organization in a place known as Udyog. Fantastic. I mean, the Meerut Delhi Expressway is running very well, and we see that in the next 1 month we'll be reaching Delhi in 40 minutes. Very good. But once we reach Meerut, then from there to my factory, there is no road in front of my factory at the moment. I mean, after paying the stamp taxes, the infrastructure is not available. So the infrastructure needs to be developed in a way that these industrial sectors, wherever they are formed, they are reachable. They are within the grasp of the people.
Right, Mr. Kohli. I mean, sorry if I'm interrupting.
That will be all. I think the other speakers will take forward. So this is
right.
all I have at the moment. Yeah.
Absolutely,
okay.
Very interesting. And we'll come back to you again, when we discuss our, submission. So thanks for a very interesting start to today, right? You had the pole position in racing circuit, right? And we really liked your brand India through Indian brands. Very, very well said, sir. And thank you very much. And we move now, to another stalwart in this industry who, gives us all sorts of sporting goods to the world. Mr. Rajesh Kharbanda, over to you.
Hello, everyone. And I must thank Mr. Rakesh Kohli to give an of the markets and the requirements of the industry, the sports industry, and also what is expected from the industry from the government of India. Having said that, at the same time, I would like to illustrate certain gaps and also I would speak from the point of strength and not the weakness. Number one, uh, as Mr. Rakesh Koti also said, that it is the quality is all in the perception. Now, how we perceive the goods, what is quality? In India, unfortunately, right now, the International Federation standard and BIS standards are not aligned. Normally, the sports goods at the highest level, it's defined, the quality is defined by the federation, whether it is FIFA in the case of football, FIBA in the case of basketball, FIBB for volleyball, and Cricket Association and so on. Now, what they require of a particular sports equipment and what is prescribed in our standard is there is a gap. So we are not following the same line. If we do that, there would be a clarity on both sides, and we would know that we are aligned and the industry would have a direction on that. On the gaps in the technology or the raw materials, we are living in a global village. No single country produces everything. So to be competitive in the world market, we have to reach out for technology and for the raw materials to the other countries. Even China is doing that, even Malaysia is doing that, Thailand is doing that. Now the products, if you have a will, there are the ways to import the raw material, import the technology, improve our productivity and make a world-class product. Now, when we make a world-class product, we need a buyer to accept that. What is expected from any nation? Whenever, if we look at the history of sporting brands in the world, the sports brand emerged with the Olympic movement. Whenever there had been a big Olympic event in a particular country, whether it is Japan, Mikasa appeared. If it is in China, leading appeared. If it is like in Thailand and Malaysia, they gave the preferences of own brands. But unfortunately, whenever the bigger events in India happened, starting 1982 Asian Games, we did not focus, our industry did not focus on giving exposure to our Indian brands and rather look for already established brands going forward. So what is required from our government is to give preference to made in India, Indian-made brands, Indian-made products, and showcase it to the world. It's not just like showing the world that see we have the infrastructure, we have the capabilities, we have the managerial capabilities to organize such a big events, but whatever we use here, whether it's IT technology, whether it's a sports equipment, this is all made in India.
Mr. Kharwal, people cannot hear you. They are asking that if you can come closer to the mic. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay. Is that better now?
Yes, yes.
Showcasing Indian brands in the world events is the first thing we must look at doing. Also, when our Indian teams are participating, at times we are displaying the foreign brands. Good. We should not stop doing that if it brings in money. But one thing we can put across is that if an Indian athlete is wearing a foreign brand, preferably it should be made in India. How would that help? That would help the bigger brands to produce in India and maybe with their own brand bringing the technology, which would help the Indian manufacturers to reach out to or to achieve the level of the international brands. So this is suggestion number 2, that this is what is expected by the industry and by the community at large. Third very important aspect is that some of our manufacturers here are making for the biggest brands in the world, but unfortunately, when the goods are exported, we have a small made in India, but the brand displayed is some international brand. And when some of the biggest federations or buyers import those products, they unknowingly, they want to have international approvals. They would import the same product, which is probably made in India or made in Pakistan or Sri Lanka. what is required there, that government agencies and all the community at large and wherever possible support or subsidize the Indian brands to get the world approvals so that they need not buy the international brands, and in a way help other countries, smaller countries in the world to look at the international approval and in a way making the way for the Indian brands to sell internationally. So these are I feel that we do not actually need much from the industry. We have to improve, of course, and all the time we have to improve our quality, we have to improve our productivity, we have to improve our reach. But yes, we are there. What we need is the more consciousness from the consumer, from the government agencies, from people around us to acknowledge the fact that India produces quality and we need to support those manufacturers who are producing quality and always work hard to get those qualities to the better and higher level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kharbanda, and your passionate, the speech to all of us, and how you truly believe that we are, of high quality, and that's why we are able to supply to the world, and how we can encourage the others also to join, this and make a better ecosystem. Thank you very much. We move now to the next speaker, Mr. Gaurav Jain from KR Industries. Please unmute. You are on mute, Mr. Gaurav Jain. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry for the delay. Right. So, thank you, Mitaji. And I think so. All of the previous speakers has explained quality in a very detailed manner. I would talk about quality in a different aspect with respect to India. When we talk about quality, we are capable enough as a sports industry, sports fraternity. We are capable enough to produce world-class goods which are compatible with all types of world standards, no matter its reach, phthalate-free, ROHS compliance. We are there to manufacture each and every product when we talk about the quality. However, there's a lot of difference when we talk about an Indian scenario of the acceptance of goods in terms of quality. There's a lack of awareness, and I request Quality Council of India to incorporate this thing and promote the quality standards in India. That is one of the prime goal that India is lacking in. We do have the capabilities to produce world-class products and we sell it to the entire globe. However, when we talk about selling the product in Indian market, that's quite difficult because Indian consumer is not aware of these standards and the benefits they can have from these kinds of approved products. So it's a gap that we have to fulfill in the near future. Apart from that, as we all know that sports is a labor-intensive industry, we also need to work on the skilled labors. As you all know, this industry is almost 100 years old. And when we talk about industrial cluster in India, there are major two clusters. One is Meerut and the second one is Jalandhar, being a major hub for sports goods and being feeding the entire India as well as world in terms of all kinds of sports goods. So the entire industry in Meerut and Jalandhar is almost 50 years or 60 or 70 years old, right? And the line of generation of workers that have been working in the factories are second generation or third generation. However, when we talk about the further enhancement of the skilled labor, it's we are feeling a crunch of skilled labor with respect to the specific product, specific skills set, and government of India really need to focus how we can incorporate and enhance the skills of the next line of generation. That's very important. Government of India has launched numerous schemes in terms of skill development and skill promotion of these workers. However, the grassroots level is not so strong in that aspect also. Apart from that, there's one more thing that I would like to address is the lack of infrastructure. When we talk about lack of infrastructure, it doesn't mean the road and the drainage system, the lighting system. When we talk about the lack of infrastructure, is the development of the sports infrastructure to organize and standardize sports at the district level, grassroots level, at the village level, state level, and we need to involve the corporate members to promote these kinds of activity through their CRS fund. The CRS as of now is only 2%. When we talk about CRS, is 2% that they can spend on the entire sports category. I would request Quality Council of India and Ministry of Commerce to send this recommendation to Finance Ministry to enhance this CSR to at least 10% or 15%, just to promote sports within the specific district, or they can adopt a district so that they can organize more games within the district level or state level. That will also help us to build quality sportsmen, because the entire crush of promoting quality in India is to have a good sportsman at the end of the day. Because India is aiming on 2035 in terms of Olympic Games, and what they're planning, they want to have more gold medals in terms of all these investment they are doing. Government of India has planned for Khelo India concept with the investment of something around 1700 crores. They have open gyms and facilitating all the schools for all types of sports item. They can procure and have the facility. But the standard, they have not mentioned the standard. This is very important. The quality of the product that they are incorporating in the schools and the children's, that should be also prime important. Apart from that, it's very important to understand that the industry is quite old. Now it's a time and phase for the quality transformation, the technology transformation. That's again a very important aspect of the growth of the industry when we talk about quality. Quality and technology both go hand in hand. So we really need to think how we can enhance the industry to improve more on the quality. When we talk about the sports industry, I think so within India or in Meerut and Jalandhar alone itself, there will be something around 5,000 plus units, right? So major of these units are cottage based and small scale industry and micro industry, right? When we talk about the large players, they are very limited number of resources, 5%, 10% or 20%, not more than that, right? So it's again a responsibility of government and the private entrepreneur to go hand in hand, and how they can improve the quality of the specific product, how they can attain the certificates of that product, because attaining a certificate for a small scale industry or a micro industry would be very difficult. So government really need to think about it, how they can take the small, medium and micro industry to the world class standard product. So it's been again the responsibility of government of India to guide the small entrepreneur how they can compete with the entire world. So that will again give a boost to the entire chain of this sports industry to increase the quality parameter, quality standards within India. Apart from this, there's one major setback that we face in India, because there's a lot of raw materials that have been imported in terms of, I belong to a rubber industry. I'll talk about rubber itself. There are a lot many products that have been imported from China, Vietnam, Malaysia, and many other Iran countries like that. But again, they are basic raw materials, and there's no quality parameter that has been set by government of India to check the import of these material are good or bad, right? So we receive the raw material, and because the product is cheaper, they end up lying in the small and micro industry in India itself. So when you use a cheaper product, what will happen to the quality of the product? So there's no set standard that has been defined that this specific product should pass through this standard. This is a life cycle, or this is the life expected life of this product. So it's very important for us to understand the quality of each and every raw material that we are importing. So it's one and the prime goal if we want to talk about and we want to achieve quality standards in Indian sports industry. Apart from this, I would also like to add there's a huge lot of capital investment that has been required in terms of testing labs. They've been set up in various small districts in India as a process cum product development center. However, the cost of testing of each and every raw material is not feasible, and for the small and micro industry. So government really need to think something about the testing of these raw materials that need to be subsidized, so that the industry can take the advantage of these testing labs. Along with it, this will also help us to improve and work more towards achieving the international standards. When we talk about quality, I'm very sorry to say about that. India always follow the standard that our customer give us. Most of the time when we export a product to Europe or UK or Australia or USA, they give us, I want the product to be this compliance. So this is a specific lab. You have to get the product tested. This is not a one-time process that we have to face. This is for each and every consignment that we have to send. So it's been quite difficult for a manufacturer to follow the standards. If we want to be leaders, we have to set standards. We have to work more on standards. We have to work more on quality. So in this regard, I would only like to address this way that when we talk about quality, when we talk about quality, US and UK ask REACH compliance, REACH 18 PHA, Germany wants 8 PHA. When we talk about India, if you go to any open market, this product is REACH compliance. Nobody even cares about what is REACH compliance. And even government of India has never focused something on quality parameter in this regards. So with this, there is one more aspect that we would like to address in this scenario. As you all know, sports is the only industry in the world that gives an gender equality. Gender equality, right? We work on women empowerment. We work on disability inclusion. It's the only industry where you can see the entire fraternity is being included in and out, right? So it's our proud moment for us that we are part of this industry, and we have to take this industry ahead of the time, ahead of the world leaders. We have to increase the quality. So how we can attain it, that's again an important task. And most importantly, the quality is something. If I go to the market and buy a product, if I like it only, then I buy it, right? As Rakesh ji has already said it. So it's very important that we need to work on the quality of the products as well. That's it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Jain, for speaking about Skill India and how we can skill better. And I definitely want all our speakers, because you are the stalwarts of this industry, the industry, what it must do, that you each can, be the pathfinder, right? What should each one of you do to improve the quality and productivity? If we can also focus on those pillars, that would really help this discussion, right? So that is something I would urge everyone. So once each individual speaks, then we'll have again a group discussion, right? So we are very, you spoke about quality, and we have a representative council. So he will speak about what are the relevant standards in this sector, in domestic market as well as international, before we move on to our other eminent speakers. So over to Mr. Garish Malhotra, if he can give us a 2-minute highlight on what are the standards applicable in this sector.
Good evening, friends. My name is Garish Malhotra, and I'm representing TIC Council. I'm working as a lab head at Intertech. So firstly, I would like to thank you on behalf of TIC Council for giving us an opportunity to speak about quality. The TIC Council can support you with testing, inspection, factory audits, and certification. To improve quality of products and to export your product to international market, for sure, you need to test your product to certain standards, be it national or international, but it should meet some standard requirements. And specific to testing, I would like to update you that there are various standards available, and there are also country specific. If you would like to export to US market, there is a specific standard. If you would like to export it to European market, there is a dedicated standard. So as far as quality is concerned, everybody has spoken at their way and dimensions about quality. So I will be focusing specific to the specific international standards which are available in the market. So like sports goods, we can consider under two different categories. Like one is professional category, so for which there are some performance standards which should met. Then only you can export those sports goods, because the requirement is performance based. Like for bicycles, there are standards like EN ISO 4210. Similarly for tricycle, for the Australian New Zealand standard, there is an NSA standard. For racing bicycle, there is a different standard. For bicycle helmet, again, there is the Australian Digital Standard AS NZS 2063. Again, if you are using some PPEs like knee and elbow protectors, there is a dedicated standard for European standard like EN 15613. Similarly, for skateboards, roller skates, and ice skates, so there are different standards. Like for skateboards, there is a EN 13613, roller skates EN 13899. So what I want to say is like there are standards at a global level, and yes, as Mr. Jan has rightly said that we should also have a local standard. We should implement mandatorily the local standards to achieve quality of products, which should be available at the market. Otherwise, there is no point in selling a quality product which is meeting a standard versus a product which is not meeting a standard. How a customer can identify which is correct? So it should be mandatory that product should be tested, and then only it can be sold in the Indian market. Similarly, I mean, this was all about majorly about the professional category, but similarly, there are sports goods which are majorly for the children's category, and there are some toy-based standards which are applicable on those segments. Like for US market, there's a standard called ASTM F963, and then CPSC guidelines for lead, cadmium, phthalate content. Similarly, for the EU market, there is a requirement of self-certificate of CE marking of different sports goods, and testing has to be complied with the standards like EN'71 Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 for flammability heavy metals. Then, as Mr. Jain has already said about REACH compliance, RHS compliance, those all are the standards for the European market. Similarly, for the Australian New Zealand market, again, there are AS NZS ISO 8124 Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. These are the standards for that market. And similarly, for the domestic market in India, which is sooner India is going to implement for the toy segment. So some sports goods which are intended for children which are less than 14 years old, they can or they should comply IS 973 Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. So there are the requirements, and this should be properly implemented in the sports goods industry for the toys which are for the children or kids category. So this was our major input from my side from the TIC Council with respect to testing standards.
Thank you very much. And now for explaining all the standards, I'm sure we have 80 people on the call. And many of our speakers have emphasized the need for awareness. And thank you, Mr. Garish Malhotra, for creating that awareness among all of us on behalf of TIC Council. Thank you very much. So great. We are in the, halfway through our speaking from our speakers. And I would urge all of you, because you represent the industry, that please share, how this industry has been able to compete with the best in the world. Like I know Mr. Kharbanda, Mr. Kohli, and then we have Mr. Anand, an eminent, person in this field. All of you are, have done such great in the international market. So what was the USP? What was the differentiator? I'm sure our audience would love to hear from you. So after this, we'll have another freewheeling session. But now I would request Mr. Jayesh Rambia from Premson's Plastic to please address us.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaskar, everybody. I would like to share my screen. I'll take a minute. I hope all of you are able to see it properly. I can't see the chat, but if you, Madam Goa, if you can confirm my screen is proper, my voice is proper, I can start my presentation.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Maybe you can make it in a full screen mode, sir.
Okay. So basically, the challenge is we are sporting good industry, and users are sports people. So sports people are at the cutting edge. They train hard, they perform hard, and it's a fun place to be in. And we can learn a lot from them. So taking cue from our user industry, I have made my presentation. First is be prepared to win. If you're not being prepared, you can't win. And being prepared, first thing you need to understand is the value of time. What is the cost of time for organization? Imagine you had two suppliers. One was replying to your request within few hours, and other was taking few days. Whom will you give your business to? So हम जब कस्टमर होते हैं तो अलग तरह से सोचते हैं, जब हम प्रोवाइडर होते हैं, मैन्युफैक्चरर होते हैं तो अलग तरह से सोचते हैं. ये गैप को हमें कम करना चाहिए. जो हम कस्टमर की तरह एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं हमारे घरों में, इफ यू लुक एट your mobile phone, your television screen, your refrigerator, they have top brands in the world and they perform perfectly. But when it comes to delivering our products, are they as good in the world? That is the gap we need to reduce. I would like to show you a very interesting video. It's again जो मैडम बुआ ने बताया था उसी प्रकार का वीडियो है. I think all of you will enjoy this and take good learning from this. गाड़ी का टायर कितने टाइम में बदली हो सकता है? ये मेरा वीडियो प्ले कर रहा हूं मैं 4 टाइम्स स्लो स्पीड पे. तीन सेकंड में टायर बदली होता है. आप सोचिए, हमारे यहाँ रोज ऑर्डर आते हैं, रोज इनवॉइस बनता है, रोज कोटेशन बनते हैं, रोज डिलीवरी होती है. आर वी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दिस द वे दिस पीपल आर प्रिपेयर्ड? बिल्कुल हर साधन के साथ हर ट्रेन्ड मैन पावर रेडी है. जैसे ही कस्टमर आया उसकी पूरी रिक्वायरमेंट फुलफिल करके अच्छी रिलायबिलिटी पे फॉर एंड इमीडिएटली इज सर्व. सो दिस इज द secret of winning in sport and same is secret of winning in business, because expectation change. आज हम जो क्वालिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट जो बोलते थे पहले, अभी क्वालिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट से भी इक्वल इंपॉर्टेंट है क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विस दैट वी डिलीवर. बिकॉज अगर हम अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं लेकिन अच्छी क्वालिटी की सर्विस नहीं देंगे, रिलायबल डिलीवरी नहीं देंगे, तो कोई हमारे पास नहीं आएगा. योर डिलीवरी हैज टू बी ऑन टाइम. एंड अगर अच्छी क्वालिटी का आउटपुट देना है तो क्वालिटी का इनपुट पे आपको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. विथ इंफीरियर रॉ मटेरियल यू कैन मेक गुड प्रोडक्ट. वैसे ही आपको अगर अच्छी क्वालिटी के प्रोडक्ट कंसिस्टेंट बेस पर डिलीवर करने हैं, यू गॉट टू हैव प्रॉपर बिजनेस प्लान. योर क्वालिटी ऑफ सिस्टम एंड प्रोसेस इन योर कंपनी हैज टू बी टॉप नॉच एंड योर क्वालिटी ऑफ टीम हैज टू इम्प्रूव. सो for quality output, quality input is required. हम जब प्रोडक्टिविटी की बात करते हैं तो यूजुअली प्रोडक्टिविटी हमारे शॉप फ्लोर की प्रोडक्टिविटी लोग ज़्यादा ध्यान देते हैं. शॉप फ्लोर पे मशीन की प्रोडक्टिविटी हुई, हमारे वर्कर्स की प्रोडक्टिविटी हुई, लेकिन वो दैट इज़ अ वेरी स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ टोटल कॉस्ट. अगर हम प्रोडक्टिविटी टोटल इंप्रूव करना चाहते हैं तो productivity should start from management itself. Productivity of money we deploy, productivity of space we use, power, marketing, HR, उसके बाद machinery and manpower. हर बॉटल में होता है बॉटल नेक इज एट द टॉप, वैसे ही हर कंपनी में बॉटल नेक इज एट द टॉप. अगर टॉप मैनेजमेंट प्रोडक्टिव है तो नीचे का सारों को प्रोडक्टिव होना आसान होगा. तो एक एक करके कुछ एग्जांपल मैं दे रहा हूँ, दिस नॉट एग्जॉस्टिव लिस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम। तो मैनेजमेंट की प्रोडक्टिविटी क्या है? अगर कोई कंपनी में सिस्टम एंड प्रोसेस ठीक से इंस्टॉल्ड है, ठीक से अप एंड रनिंग है, रेगुलर अपडेट होते हैं, उसकी रेगुलर ट्रेनिंग होती है, इट्स अ बेटर मैनेजमेंट। They'll be able to perform better, they'll be more productive, they'll be able to give quality products. What is the quality of network that they have? वो मैनेजमेंट का काम है नेटवर्क डेवलप करना, वेदर इज नेटवर्क ऑफ सप्लायर्स, नेटवर्क ऑफ सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स, नेटवर्क ऑफ बायर्स। तो ये सारे नेटवर्क जो हैं वो इम्पोर्टेंट है। एंड ऑफ कोर्स नेटवर्क ऑफ सोसाइटी जहाँ पर वो कंपनी काम करती है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड बिल्डिंग गुडविल एंड बिल्डिंग टीम, दिस इज ऑल पार्ट ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट प्रोडक्टिविटी। लेट योर मनी वर्क हार्डर फॉर यू। एक इंडस्ट्री बेंचमार्किंग हर जगह हमको इस्तेमाल करनी चाहिए। अगर आप चैट बॉक्स में डालोगे, मतलब ऑप्शन इज ओपन टू यू, आप अभी बैंक को क्या % इंटरेस्ट चुकाते हैं फॉर वर्किंग कैपिटल, यू विल बी शॉक्ड। शायद हम में से सबका आंसर सेम ना हो, शायद कुछ लोग काफी कम चुकाते हो। मैं अपना शेयर करना चाहूंगा, हमको एक्सपोर्ट पैकिंग क्रेडिट 3% पे मिलती इन रुपी। सो बिकॉज हम गवर्नमेंट की इंटरेस्ट इक्वलाइजेशन स्कीम जो 5% की, उसका फायदा लेते हैं। आप लेते हो, अगर नहीं लेते तो आपका पैसा इंटरेस्ट ज्यादा जा रहा है। सो मनी इज नॉट वर्किंग प्रोडक्टिवली फॉर यू। तो हर एक चीज में अगर ध्यान से देखेंगे तो ऐसे कई छोटे छोटे चीजें मिलेगी। वन थिंग यू मस्ट मेजर इज योर टर्नओवर टू वर्किंग कैपिटल रेशियो। आपको पता है आपकी इंडस्ट्री में बेंचमार्किंग करेंगे तो बड़ी कंपनियों का, काफी टाइम ये डेटा पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनियों का ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल होता है। और प्लास्टिक इंडस्ट्री से मैं बिलोंग करता हूँ, प्रेमचंद प्लास्टिक इज नेम ऑफ माई कंपनी। तो बिरला ग्रुप की एक फिल्म बनाने वाली कंपनी है, उसका मैंने देखा द बेस्ट। देयर वर्किंग कैपिटल इज 1 डे का टर्नओवर उनका वर्किंग कैपिटल है। वो वर्किंग कैपिटल 300 टाइम्स रोटेट होता है पूरे साल में। तो इमेजिन कीजिए, उसका वही पैसे से वो 300 टाइम सेल करता है और 300 टाइम पैसे कमाता है। दैट इज, वो बनाने के लिए कई सालों की मेहनत, विजन वगैरह लगता है। बट एटलीस्ट वंस यू नो बेंचमार्किंग क्या है, व्हाट इज द टॉप रनिंग स्पीड, अगर आपको पता है तो शायद आप मेहनत करके उसके नजदीक जा पाएंगे। तो यू शुड ट्राई एंड अचीव सच थिंग्स। एंड आर यूजिंग फैक्टरिंग सर्विसेज, क्योंकि फैक्टरिंग सर्विस से आपको पैसा बैंक से नहीं लेकिन फैक्टरिंग से मिलेगा। इट इज ऑफ योर बैलेंस शीट एंड वो पैसा कस्टमर से वो कलेक्ट करेंगे। पैसा आपका डूबने का चिंता नहीं होगा। एसबीआई इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट फैक्टरिंग सर्विस प्रोवाइडर। देयर आर सेवरल अदर्स। सीबी का ट्रेडिक्स प्लेटफॉर्म भी अच्छा है, आपको जरूर देखना चाहिए। तो ये क्वालिटी ऑफ फंडिंग इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। कुछ पैसा होता है कि आपके पास जब चाहे आपको मिलेगा, आपने रिटर्न करना है रिटर्न कीजिए, आपको जब, सो योर कॉस्ट ऑफ मनी इज लोअर। कुछ पैसा ऐसा है कि जब आपकी जरूरत होगी तो वो मांगने आ जाएंगे, तो दैट इज बैड क्वालिटी फंडिंग। तो मनी की क्वालिटी और मनी की प्रोडक्टिविटी। सेकेंड इज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। तो स्पेस प्रोडक्टिविटी, स्पेस का यू शुड स्टार्ट मेजरिंग हाउ मच टर्नओवर यू आर डूइंग पर स्क्वायर फीट पर डे। आपने एक बार मेजर करना शुरू किया और नेक्स्ट ईयर आप सोचो कि मुझे इससे कम जगह में इससे ज्यादा बिजनेस करना है, तो ऑटोमेटिक उसके रास्ते मिलेंगे आपको। और पावर की प्रोडक्टिविटी, पावर में सोलर पावर में बूट मॉडल पे आजकल बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, बिल्ड ओन ऑपरेट ट्रांसफर। इसमें क्या होता है कि अ थर्ड पार्टी कम्स हु puts their money to put solar cells on your rooftop and they give you power at lower rate than what you are paying to electricity board। और 10 से 15 साल के बाद this power plant becomes yours। इमेजिन करो 10 साल के बाद आपको पावर कॉस्ट जीरो हो जाएगी विदाउट एनी इन्वेस्टमेंट। हमने कंप्रेसर ऑडिट कराया था और कंप्रेसर ऑडिट बहुत सिंपल है। यूजिंग योर मोबाइल फोन की रिकॉर्डिंग डिवाइस, आपकी कंप्रेस लाइन की पाइप के नजदीक से आप लेके जाएंगे, कहीं हिसिंग साउंड होता है वो रिकॉर्ड कर लीजिए और आपको पता चलेगा कहाँ है। अ स्मॉल पिन होल इज कॉस्टिंग यू थाउजेंड्स ऑफ रुपीज अ ईयर। तो ये छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं बट डेफिनेटली इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट। water is going to be biggest challenge for industry in 2022. इंडस्ट्री वो ही काम कर पाएगी जिसका वाटर एफिशिएंट है, क्योंकि इंडिया इज रनिंग आउट ऑफ ग्राउंड वाटर, और जब पानी कंज्यूमर के लिए नहीं होगा तो इंडस्ट्री को ये नहीं मिलने वाला. तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, आपको ये देखना चाहिए. एंड ऑफ कोर्स मैन पावर में इम्पोर्टेंस इज, अगर आप अपने बच्चों का ख्याल रखेंगे. आई जस्ट टेक अ मिनट, मेरा जस्ट वन स्टेप बाकी है. अपने बच्चों की ट्रेनिंग के लिए जो खर्चा करते हैं और स्टाफ की ट्रेनिंग का खर्चा करते हैं, प्लीज कंपेयर कीजिए एंड ट्राई एंड क्लोज दैट गेट यू द बेस्ट. ये मशीन के आपको मैं 2 फिगर दूंगा. प्लास्टिक प्रोसेसिंग में किलोवाट आवर पर केजी आप कितनी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वापरते हो प्लास्टिक प्रोसेस करने, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इट्स वेरी कॉस्टली इनपुट. तो 0.5 किलोवाट आवर पर केजी इज द टारगेट, और अगर वो उसकी तरफ आप जाओगे तो यू विल बी एबल टू अचीव बेटर थिंग. एंड ऑफ कोर्स ओवरऑल इक्विपमेंट एफिशिएंसी, उस पर तो एक सेशन हो सकता है. मार्केटिंग अगेन इज आपका क्या बेस्ट, आपको क्या रियलाइजेशन मिलता है कस्टमर से, आपकी रीच क्या है, आपकी डेप्थ क्या है मार्केट की. ऑल दैट इज प्रोडक्टिविटी एंड क्वालिटी will lead to your sustainable profitability. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate your detailed presentation and the way you have linked quality that inspires productivity. Thank you very much. And of course, showing us that interesting video. I can see we have a lot of Schumakers and Ayrton Senna in this sporting goods event. Now we call on our, very respectable Mr. Trilok Anandji, who is on this panel. For you. To be unmuted.
इसलिए वो पीछे से वो शुरू हो गया जो आपने पीछे था. हाँ ठीक है, मैं शाम को आपको let's just speak with this guy together.
We can't hear you. So while we wait for to get his connectivity, shall we move to the next speaker? Back to you, sir. And those who are not speaking, if you can put yourself, someone with Mohammed Khalid Anwar ji, Narayana Rao ji, can you put yourselves on mute? Because it is really creating a lot of noise. Trilok Anand ji, we can hear you now. Hello. अभी भी सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है. नमस्कार.
Trilok uncle, I think so you need to unmute yourself.
Hello. Let us give him another few seconds. Can anyone hear him? I can't.
We can't hear him. Can't hear him.
Hello, look, Anandji. Yeah, I can hear you. But we can't hear Trilokananji. I think we'll give him some time, or maybe I can connect him on the phone. But we'll move now to Mr. Aman Chatta from Responsive Industries.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. So this is Aman Chadha from Responsive Industries. We are a premium manufacturer of sports vinyl, and we do export this sports vinyl to 80 countries. And we are planning definitely to have a major supplies for Indian sports facilities, including the government sectors. So this is a great initiative where the whole delegation is there, and I would like to thank them and the honorable government as well that we are here at Udyog Manthan initiative, which will help us to take us all thoughts on a different level. So my main strong point is here that a lot of large quantum has been imported from Asian countries in terms of vinyl flooring, and it has been sold to all the sectors on a very inflated prices. So here I am requesting everyone, or I would say strongly recommend that there should be something like anti-dumping duty where the products are coming from Asian countries, because we are already producing the products which are as good as having European standards and norms. And ideally, there is a very less awareness about the sports floorings, where people think that indoor is not suitable for playing sports. All sports should be played outdoor. Whether basketball, and we are talking about some other sports which are played indoor only, and the sports vinyl flooring plays a very important role in that. And we have all the test certificates to export as well as to supply it into Indian facilities. But due to the invasion of a lot of Asian companies who are, or importers, I would say precisely, who are been buying at a very lower cost and selling at an inflated cost, is creating a lot of problem. Quality wise, we are monitoring it from day one. We're trying to make it best of the class, and we are producing a product which can be exported and which is getting exported to 80 countries. So this is the viewpoint from ourselves, and we are definitely offering a very good competitive product anyways. And we want to increase the export of ours, and as well as it is very important that Indian companies, I would say, should have an acceptance of the Indian product. Everybody is looking to have a European or a Chinese or an Asian product. Indian companies should have more of acceptability of Make in India. That is more important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Aman Chanda, for speaking about how we can be even more quality conscious, that can drive productivity and be more competitive in the global market. And with that, I think Anandji, I don't know if he's still being able to. Sir, can we hear you? Trilok Anandji.
Sorry, can you come back, please? There was a connection issue. Hello.
Yeah, we can't hear you still.
Can you hear me now? Okay, can you please repeat the question?
Reach out to Mr. I am asking Mr. Trilok Anandji.
Okay, sorry. Please. Thank you very much. So sorry for that.
Thank you. I think we are really struggling over there with techniques. No problem. That saved academy last, right? जी सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है. I'm really sorry. I can't hear you. Hello. हाँ अभी आवाज आ रहा है. Trilok Anandji. Can anyone hear him? I can't.
No, we can't hear him.
Okay,
He's
I
from
think
the old school. When he started exports, the telephone lines used to be like that only. So he's from the old school. I don't know. He's still getting the same connectivity. I'm sorry about that.
because he's such a stalwart in this area. Let me.
Maybe
He's one of the most respected
we'll
persons
start
from
this.
industry. If we can hear him, that will be really good.
His phone lines are also busy. If I could take him on the phone, I could have put.
Maybe I'll try from here.
Yeah, the phone is ringing.
Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
He can continue on phone if that is okay. He can continue on phone because we can hear him.
लोग आनंद जी हम लोग को सुनाई
Yes.
ना फोन में बोलिए मैं स्पीकर के सामने रखूं. Yeah, I'm putting it in front of the speaker.
We can hear him on phone, loud and clear.
I don't know if the rest of them can hear you. Mr. Kohli, can you hear Mr. Anand?
Let him speak because he's not speaking at the moment.
The whole world can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear him now. Yeah, that's
We can hear you.
great voice we can hear, yeah. Hello, sir. Please continue with the voice you have. Please continue.
Mahmadaji, very sorry for this lapse of mine. It is just like I have failed on both the parameters, the quality as well as the productivity. Extremely sorry, my apology. It's just like our cricket ball.
Ma'am, you have to unmute yourself. Otherwise, we can't hear him. You have to unmute yourself, ma'am. Madhumita, ma'am.
मधुमिता आपको अनम्यूट करना.
हेलो अभी सुनाई दे रहा है सबको?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can everyone hear him?
आप अपने स्पीकर की वॉल्यूम कम कर दें, लैपटॉप की वॉल्यूम है उसको कम कर दें, फिर आप फोन पे बोलें वो क्लियर सुनाई देगा. आप अपने स्पीकर की वॉल्यूम कम कर दें लैपटॉप की. अब आप फोन पे कंटिन्यू करें तो आई थिंक सो वी आर एबल टू हियर यू वेरी वेल.
सर आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
Okay. I'm sorry to waste your time. My performance to everyone. See, historically speaking, India has been a producer of very poor quality equipment. Over a course of time, in my last more than 4.5 decades in the exporting field, I have seen a sea change in the quality of merchandise which is being exported. It is not only sports goods, it's all over generally speaking. And I am very happy to say where the quality is today is at least 1,000 times better than what it was earlier. I'm a very proud man. I'm a very proud Indian. Despite all the misgivings which we have, which we as a country have, we are a poor country. We have got 300 million people living below poverty line. So be it. But we are the world champions in cricket. We are very soon going to be a sporting nation in the whole world. Take it from me. I will not live to see that day, but most of you will see that day when India emerges as a champion in Olympics and other world sporting events by the 2030s. I am positive about it.
Madhumita ma'am, you're on.
You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself.
Ma'am, yeah, that's better.
In the current match which is being played in Sydney, out of 22 playing members of both at least 40. Moment for everyone, you know. So, maybe about 20 years back, we hardly had a few guys, and those only Indians, but these are the international players which are playing. And the same goes for a lot of other sports. We have Indian equipment which is being used at Olympics. We have Indian equipment which is being used at table tennis tournaments. We have Indian. It's a very powerful achievement. And I do a SWOT analysis of the of the general industry at large. If we are able to provide that kind of a service, I really admire the presentation which JSG gave on both quality and productivity. I think that
We can hear you. Can the rest of you hear him?
Intermittently, not regularly. Sometimes the voice is coming and sometimes it is breaking.
Okay. Okay, that's tough. But one question I have to you, sir, that you have been here for more than 4+ decades. What one special thing you can say that made you competitive in the globe? Like you said, so many bats were used by the cricketers. Can you share with us?
Very, very interesting question, I must say, Madhumita ji. It's just listening to what the customers want, not what we can give. What they want at the price they want. Now, I am asking a question from the forum here. My question is, last year has been a challenge for not only us, but everyone in the world. Now, coming to this year, we are trying to steamroll ourselves continuously. Now, the customers want the same product with better imports at last year's prices. What do we do now? It's not a challenge for me. Not only in sports industry, it's a challenge for everyone who is going to be staying alive in the current year and the next year, How much price increase can a guy give, tell me?
Right, sir.
I'm at the bit. I'm a bit to
Right. So maybe we can engage, once our panel is, finish their part. We still have time. We have 45 minutes to go. So we can have this discussion. But thank you for sharing that mantra that, we gave what the customer wanted, right? I mean, that's the ultimate. Correct. Right. Right, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. And I'm extremely sorry that I failed for the parameters of quality.
But we are so privileged and humbled that you have joined us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you for assisting me.
Okay. So, Trilok Anandji, that was very interesting. Sorry, but, senior most players, correct? And it's so important to have him on this call. So thank you for your patience, everyone. We appreciate that. And with that, we come to, the Sports Academy of India, Dr. Devendra. So please, sir.
Yeah.
Dr. Devendra Arora ji.
I think the one question in the word, can you hear me? Hear me? Just clap. Yeah. Am I audible? Gaurav? Yeah.
Yes.
So a big thanks to Team Manthan, Udyog Manthan, and Madhumita ji, you too, and Sudhir Jutsi ji, very dynamic, my friend, and he recommended me for this very big platform. So I listen everyone, even when I make some PowerPoint presentation, but that I skip it after listening the entire fraternity of the sports. So the first word what I capture, the sports industry is called the anti-aging industry. You can meet with any person like Lok Anandji or meet with any young or old. That age is just a number for them. Number two, surely it has a challenges, and every good thing have every challenges. But I collect some statistics from the statistica.com. The brand value of FIFA is a very renowned, but it is a brand value is 9,600 crore rupees. 9,600 crore rupees, which is the brand value of FIFA, and Super Bowl have a 36,000. Oh, sorry, 3,660. Olympic have a only 2,000 crore. If I talk about the IPL brand value, which is the Indian brand, it is a 47,500 crore. So here I'm talking about the brand value of Indian Premier League. It's almost in a highest peak in the world. Then we all sports maker, we make a good product, and we give the. I wish to give the punchline: we produce, you play. Which if I represent the Indian manufacturer in the world, then I said we produce, you play. And more thing which I added that the Sports Academy Association of India have a copyright from Ministry of HRD to develop the various courses. And as Gaurav ji, Rakesh ji, and other Kharbinda ji, they everyone talk about the product quality, and quality. That definitely the man, just we talk about the man, material, and machine. The man can be developed as a skill rather than machine, and developed skilled man can produce a good machines. And again, I heard about this thing. The, we need to develop some academic institution specialized in the sports, like we have a BTech in textile, we have a BTech in plastic industry, and we talk about the plastic industry also, but we don't have any institution in India. Those have a BTech in sports technology. Even in Australia, UK, Europe, and South Africa, they have this program BTech in sports technology. If this program is introduced in India by the government, even then we developed the syllabus in it also. And one more request I wish to do from all manufacturers of Meerut and Jalandhar and others, let us go for the some sports university, because the our customer consumer are youth, and they must know about the which quality of product produced by the India. And I saw some of the example of Mother Dairy, Yakult, Panasonic. They invited the boys and girls from school and university for the industrial visit. So they're able to know what is the power of India. And sports goods manufacture is the power of India, not only give impression to India, but also give good impression to the other countries also. And we can invite the number of visitors from worldwide so that they can see our industry, our Indian industry, Indian manufacturer give the good product with their minimum resources. As I saw so many industry in Meerut itself, and I went to Jalandhar also. I saw the owner of the company. He is an engineer. He's a design maker. He's a computer operator. He himself is the fighting with the government authority for clearance of export and import and everything. That one entrepreneur have all eligibility, and he developed themselves. He know the market. He's a market researcher. You if you meet with any manufacturer who's have experience of 10 to 20 years, you can find each and everything from them, and in a very economical rate, very economical they can produce it. So many things which already shared by the all reputed and dynamic owner of manufacturers, because they started this industry in India from last 70 years. 1947, it was a very bad, drastic, can say it's a collateral damage for the world. Once the so many industry owner they came from that old Punjab, I can't say that is Pakistan, old Punjab, and they set up, and today they have a stand their flag in Europe, Australia, and other nations also. And here some skill program which BTech and management and sports journalism, law, academics. But think behind it, once we are invited the youth in our industry for the visit, then definitely they came to know. And the youth will told to the world, yes, the made in India, made by India, make in India product is the best in the world. So today the thinking of the youth is, they said, if this product came from Australia, this product came from the other countries, it is good. Imported is good. This was the flavor. But if they able to know, able to see the entire factories process, then definitely they will told to their friends those are living in other countries. Some of my relative live in Australia. They ask me, we want to that's cricket bat from India, and especially from the Meerut. So it feels proud to me that I belong to Meerut, and Meerut produce the world class bats. But it needs to more and more vocal. The punchline our Prime Minister given to us, and the punchline Khilega India is produced by the SPA India, and SPA India have a member of 500 plus principal. From last 5 years, we have continue spreading the value. And
Doctor.
just I have
Right,
a
Dr.
2 minutes,
Arora.
1 minute only. I have ended my the entire. I noted down my points, and definitely Khilega India. It's really produced, and once again, I just remind and give the suggestion that sports industry invite youth for the visit of their industry, so that the marketing, producing, and each and every, even they have become a consumer also. So thank you very much, everyone. And last but not least, India's
Thank you.
India, for all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arora, that you brought in, the youth of India, and how we can add that and improve the quality that, of course, will inspire productivity, which is the what do you say, the tagline for Udyog Manthan. So great, so far we've got our speakers speaking, and it was very interesting. But now I have one question for each one of our speakers to please give us one sentence. How or what do you think that the industry you belong to must do to improve quality and productivity? It's a rapid fire round, right? So, whatever comes, we've heard you speak for 10 minutes, we've heard you speak, and now we want a quick fire round. So, let's move to Mr. Kohli, right? He was the first one. We haven't heard him for a long time. Mr. Kohli.
Brand building, and brand building. If you have the brand, it will come good. Yes.
So you feel your industry needs to build brands, and I think you used a very nice sentence: brand India through Indian brands, right? Great. Yeah. That's a great takeaway. Thank you, Mr. Kohli. We move to Mr. Kharbanda.
If you just want me to add something, I would like to share, if we have time, otherwise we can go to Mr. Kharbanda.
Yeah, I can give you 2 minutes.
Okay, so that's okay. So what happens is that if we talk about different countries across the globe, if we talk about India, then it reminds us of Finland. If we talk about Bata, it reminds us of Czech Republic. Similarly, we want that the Indian brands should come up to a level whereby we recognize India as producers of various sporting goods brands. That is what we want. Thank you.
Very good. I think that's what we are speaking about cricket bats being asked from Australia, and we feel good about all that gets exported. Great. Thank you, Mr. Kohli.
We are still exporting for some of the best brands in the world, but we are exporting with our brand. What we want is that we should be exporting with our brand.
Excellent. Thank you for your inputs. We move to Mr. Kharbanda.
Believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to compete with the best in the world. That's what we have been trying to cover and achieve. And other Indian Football Federation international brands. Today we have replaced all the India. So believe in yourself and don't be afraid to compete with the best in the world. That should be
excellent. I think if because your voice is getting a little garbled, I think if I understood you correctly, you said believe in yourself and don't be afraid of the world, right?
Don't be afraid to compete with the best in the world.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's a great thing that the industry can do, right? Great, Mr. Kharbanda. And I can take 1 more minute of yours. What do you contribute to your success in the global platform?
So I would like to share that I have been recently invited by FIFA to be part of their manufacturing advisory. So they have recognized that we are contributing the work and they have included us in the FIFA advisory board. So that I will do.
Sorry, Mr. Kohli, could you catch Mr. Kharbanda? I missed. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear Rajeshri because it was not clear.
Can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yeah, now better.
So we have recently recognized invited.
Rajesh, we still can't hear you. If you can just put your video off and speak, that will be better. Maybe you can put your video off and speak. That will be better.
So recently we have been, is it clear? Can you hear me?
No, we still can't hear you clearly.
No. Hello. Let it be. I think let's do.
Yeah, Mr. Kharbanda.
Yeah, I think we can't hear me. Let's move on.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you very much. And we move to now Mr. Gaurav Jain, the rapid fire round. What's your mantra for this industry?
My simple life is miracle never happens in a day. It always hard work and faith. You have to do your hard work, focus on your goals, your achievements, and the success will come back.
So that's your mantra for the industry, right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you. So we move to Mr. Jayesh. Mr. Jayesh?
Yes, madam. Our mantra is to focus and specialize. We make world's largest range of sports water bottles for brands across 70 countries worldwide. This we've been doing for nearly 35 years now. So we have focus and specialized. We keep learning new things, keep adding new sport, and that's how we have built. We're working with big brands. We have not created our own brand, but we are now launching our brand online. But otherwise, I think focus is very important.
Focus. Did he say focus? I think that's what he meant. That the industry should
focus,
be very focused.
Specialize in a product range, focus on a particular range, and keep learning, keep adding value to your offering to customer.
Excellent. I think for this sporting goods sector, focus and learning and adding more value. I think that's a very good input, Mr. Jayesh. Thank you very much. We move to Mr. Aman.
Finally, I would say for me, consistency is the key. I think one has to be very consistent about the service, consistent about the quality, consistent about the productivity. In my opinion, if the consistency is maintained, like McDonald's have been using consistent product, consistent brand value, consistent food items across the world. If we manage the business in a consistent manner, if we try to just serve perfect, I would say, menu to the client, I think it's a right combination. The client is looking for a good service, and you will be having less trouble serving the end customer.
Excellent. I think you reiterated what he also said. Listen to the customer, right? And serve them better. Sir, can we hear you now? Hello, Anand.
Connection is pretty poor.
No, we still can't hear you. Sorry. Okay, we move to Dr. Anuga. In one, if you can give 1 point for the industry.
CID, creative, initiative, and dedication. CID, be CID. Hear me. CID, creative, initiative, and dedication. Yeah, and involve youth. Simple as that. Talk about the sports industry, involve youth.
I have understood to involve youth and dedication. There were two other words that you used.
Creative, initiative, and dedication.
Okay. Creative initiative and dedication. Great. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think this goods session was extremely interesting. It felt we were on the racing track, and we had all this high energy, high octane people on this group, and we had an interesting audience who've been writing to us, constantly being there. So if anyone has anything more, you can raise your hand and add if there is something while we will be winding up the session soon. So if there is anything anyone adds would like to add, please do raise your hand. We can take your inputs.
Just to add one here, that is very important in whatever you're doing. In whichever industry you are, we need to be continuously innovative. And that is something which will help the industry as a whole. If we keep innovating, we keep getting better and better every day. That's what we need.
Excellent. Continuously innovative. I think extremely important, especially in today's time, right? We have started, who would have thought we would do a webinar? We usually do it face to face. in our own, armchairs and talking to each other. This is innovation, right? So great point. Continuous, innovation and improvement. Great point. Thank you.
I just give an example here. I mean, about 1 decade back, when we used to take our tables to the international market, and people used to think that these are orders that we have distillate back. And today, we have modern design as far as table status is concerned. I mean, our tables are absolutely, as far as the design are concerned, the best in the world. So this is the difference between.
Great, thank you. So with this, I would like to hand over the mic to Quality Council of India.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for everyone who attended the webinar. Thank you to all the speakers, panelists, and all the participants. And especially given the technical glitches that we've been facing, thank you so much for all your patience through the webinar. It's quite grateful for all of you for that. Given the major insights that have come through from this conversation, where we've, as Mr. Veena said right in the beginning, where with regard to the strength that India possesses within the industry, we have a high number of skilled workforce. We have ample raw materials. We have the ability to be a global provider. At the same time, as Mr. Jain also pointed out, that there is a dip in those numbers given the fact that there is a need to incorporate the youth of the country into skill building and skill development within the industry. Furthermore, with regards to building capacities and building the ability for not just the larger corporations, but also for the medium and small enterprises in the country to be able to have the resources and the ability to produce better and more goods and also get them certified and accredited to be of a quality that is comparable on a global level. These are all priorities of the sector today. And thank you so much for your recommendations regarding the same. They will all be incorporated into the compendium that's going to be published on the 2nd of March. And thank you so much for your time. With that, we would close this webinar and very grateful for your attendance to this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.